Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Kaos again, coming at you with a commentary. In this commentary, I actually wanted to talk about how trippy it is when you actually realize that you've grown up. Like it's a little it's a little crazy to me because recently I just I saw my son crawl. Okay, he's 6 months old right now. 6 months old right now. He's about 6 months and around 2 weeks. But I saw him crawl, like actually crawl. Like there was a toy on the ground across the room, and this little guy seriously crawled all the way to it to grab it, and it was one of the most amazing and most satisfying things I've ever seen in my life. And I'm a parent, because I'm a parent now, so that made me feel like accomplished. It's crazy because when you think about it, when you're growing up, you don't really think about shit like that. Like when I was growing up, I thought about having kids, of course, because I've always had a big family, so I've always wanted to expand that family and just expand that love and everything like that. But actually seeing it in front of you, and I'm sure Bourbano, or as you all know him, BRB, knows what I'm talking about. When you have a kid, dude, it's weird. Like as soon as, like, of course, when Athena was pregnant, it was like, wow, I'm about to have a kid. It doesn't really hit you. I don't know if it's all man, but it doesn't really hit you until you actually see your baby. Like when I was in the delivery room, and when Athena gave birth to him, it was like right then and there, as soon as I heard him cry for the first time, like I cried in there. I'm not no bitch. I'm not gonna say that I didn't, but dude, like I cried. Like I really cried, because as soon as I heard him breathe, it was just like, or cry, it was just like, wow, like this this child that I helped create is like alive now. Like he's a living, breathing like person. It's like, that's a trip, dude, because before, like, you were just in her stomach and now you're just out. And I'm seeing him grow like every day that I'm around him. Like I remember the first time I taught him how to pet the dog Lucy. Like I put his hand on top of her head, and I was just like, oh yeah, you do this. I know you can't see me because we're recording, but it was amazing even to teach him that, because I have the sole responsibility, along with his mother, to literally mold him into the person he will grow up to be. It's crazy because everything he learns, everything he knows in the future is going to be because of me and her. That's insane to me. That's crazy. And with me and her, with the stuff that we do for him, when it comes to changing his diapers, when it comes to feeding him, when it comes to checking on him randomly, when it comes to like saying like random stuff, like, oh, like Athena is a very, very protective mother. She's the best mother wolf that you could possibly get for Lobo. And I tell her things sometimes when she's going out with him, like by herself. I'm like, okay, be careful, please be careful, blah blah blah. And it's like, I know she knows to be careful with him. I know she knows that she needs to do this. Like she's the mom. She's a mama wolf for a reason. So my mom would do that to me all the time. Like when I would go, it's a sunny day, no rain, I have full gas, my tires are completely fine, there's nothing wrong with my car, I am not sick, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm only going to the liquor store that's like less than 5 minutes away up the street. You know what I get told? Please be careful driving over there. It's like, of course I'm gonna be careful, bro. Like it's right down the street. Like why would you need to worry about it? Like nothing's gonna happen to me. When you have a son and when you have a child and they leave your presence, that's what happens. You think about shit like that. It's crazy because before I never understood why my mom did that so much. Like literally, I'm 25 years old now. I'm 200 pounds. I'm a big ass nigga. And she still tells me, please be careful going into the liquor store in broad daylight. It's like it's messed up to even know that, dude, like life happens sometimes. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like no one really knows what could happen if you go to the liquor store. Like you could walk into something and you have nothing to do with it, and then like something happens to you. So it's crazy, like how now that I'm a parent, I understand that I'm not reckless like that. Like even at night when I am hungry now and it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and I want to like go to the liquor store and like buy like a drink or like buy some chips or something. Now I kind of more hesitant to do it because it's like Nicole is still sleeping in the room though. So it's like I don't want to go out there and have someone be reckless and then something happens to me for it and I had nothing to do with it. Because I literally went, because I had Lobo, now there's a reason, not that there wasn't a reason to live before, but it's just like, your priorities, and you have a bit of a, you reprioritize yourself. You redo everything in your head, so you you reprioritize everything. So it's like now Nakoa's priority. Now it's just like before it was about, oh, it's about lifts, it's about this, it's about that. You know, it's just like no, it's Nakoa first above everything. And there's no there's no gray area there. It's like the only reason I'm able to do this gaming stuff now is because now I put together a schedule to where it's like Athena can have Nakoa right now. I'm gonna work until I feel like I've worked enough for the day, or like where I can get a break, and then again get a break, go with my family, and then do it all over again the same day. Later that night. If not, then I'm gonna be with them. But it's crazy how you can even say, like me. It's weird to me how I can even say I have a family now of my own. Growing up, it's like I didn't have my dad with me, so everything that I do with Nakoa, it's like it's kind of like I'm going off of like instinct right now, because I didn't really have a good example, and the only example I did have, he unfortunately passed away around 2 years ago, which some of you know about it, some of you don't, and I don't really feel like talking about it. But with actually having a kid now, it's just like it's many. It's pretty insane, because growing up, I didn't have a dad, so all this stuff is like new to me, and all this stuff I'm actually learning on the spot. Like my son has this little thing where he likes to, whenever because he's breastfed by Athena, he has this little thing where he likes to like grab her lip when he's breastfeeding, and he like almost rips her bottom lip off. Like it's weird. Like it's just something my son does, and it's like we have to teach him to not do that. Like we have to teach him, and I think that's like awesome. Like I'm my son's teacher. Like everything I do, like those little memes they have, or not even memes, but that I'm pretty sure you guys seen it, or I'll put it on the screen if you guys haven't, where it's like it's a guy doing push-ups. Funny how it's push-ups. It has to do with the gym, but it's a guy doing push-ups, and he's like looks like he's about to give up, and it's like don't you never know who's watching you. You know what I mean? So don't give up. Like something like that, something fatherly or something like that. But I think about that more than ever now, because me and Athena, like we're two very strong-willed people. So we get into arguments sometimes. We get into heated arguments sometimes, and sometimes Nakoa's there, sometimes Nakoa's not. But if Nakoa sees me yelling at Athena, who is obviously a woman, but if he sees me doing that, then that means he would feel comfortable doing that to anybody. So it's like everything you do, literally everything you do in front of your child, they're like a sponge, bro. That's crazy. Because now it's just like I have to, not that I have to, because I am a good person, but it's just like I have responsibility for this guy's brain now. Like my son is my everything, but I want to make sure he's more than me when he's older. I want him to be better than me. It's just crazy now that I have, that's in my head now. Before that wasn't in my head when I was growing up, obviously, because I didn't think I was ever gonna have that. But now it's like, damn, like I have that. My son crawls. He practically walks. Like he could stand up. Like I'm excited even talking about it. Like his favorite color is yellow. You know what I mean? Like he likes freaking laughing. It's like this little dude, you can't hold him without him laughing at you. Like he has such a good time. Like he looks like he enjoys life so much that he's just steady happy 24/7. And it's like it's one of the best feelings in the world, knowing that it's like, yeah, I did that for my child. Like my child is happy. That's all I can ever ask for. And like I said, when you're younger, you don't understand why a lot of your parents do what they do. And when you have a kid, it all flushes in you at one point. And some of them do tell you like, oh, you'll know when you have a kid. And it's like, yeah, whatever. But it's like you really don't know until you have a kid. Like everything changes. Your like even your outlook on life changes. You start thinking about schools. You start thinking about who he's around. You start thinking about who he can be around. You start thinking about like what he might be into when he's older. Like for all I know, Koa might not even like video games. He might not even like lifting, and that's gonna break my heart. But if that's what he wants to do, if that's what he does not want to do, then that's what he does not want to do. That's up to my son. My son will be able to do what he wants to do, and I'm going to make it so. My goal is to say my son wants to play football. I want to be able to buy my son every bit of equipment I could possibly buy him to play football, so he can ultimately figure out if that's what he wants to do for the rest of his life or if it's not for him. Because unless you have all the tools you need to figure out what you want to do, then you're not really going to know. And then you don't want it to be too late, so when you get there, it's just like I did all of this time to get here, and now I don't even want to do it. So I would want to give him everything at the start. Be like, all right, play your ass off. Do what you need to be doing. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. That's it. Like, we'll just move on to the next thing. I have, like, so it's like I said, it's crazy, man. And I'm enjoying every bit of being a dad. At, like, I mean, I'm 25. Like, maybe, you know, we don't really have the best type of, like, what do you call it, plan, I guess you would say. But we're being parents. We're being the best parents we could possibly be, and I'm loving every moment of it. You know, so it's just amazing, and I appreciate all the help I've been getting towards, you know, like learning how to be the best father I could possibly be, especially because I don't really have like a good background for it. But I believe I'm gonna be like the best father I could possibly be for Nicole, and it's crazy because now I'm growing up and I realize like how and why that's so important. It's crazy, but that will be the end of the commentary, guys. I will talk to you guys later. Deuces.